everybody. This is Karen Porter with Salt Factory 513, where we come to you with information about things that are important to you and me. And today we have a very special guest, not in the house. She's at her house. I'm at my house. It's Zoom. We're in a pandemic. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. So guests, if you will bring yourself forward and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. I am Dee Nicole, and I'm so excited about this interview today. I hope whatever I speak on is something that can bless you, something that can really help you, especially going into the new year, and that gives you the encouragement that you desire.
Okay, so tell everybody who you are and what do you do?
Okay. Well, of course, like I said before, I'm Dee Nicole. I'm actually a wardrobe stylist here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I also own an online store. So that is really what I do. The essence of my brand and the essence of what I'm known for is virtual styling and celebrity styling as well. So that is the gist of it. But I just have my online store as a razzle dazzle.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out just to talk to us today. So we're in our 3-question series where we ask you 3 questions.
All right.
And then you answer however you want to respond to it. And then at the end, you can give your contact information. So are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Question number 1. When did you know that you wanted to be your own boss?
Believe it or not, I never thought about it like that. I never really wanted to just necessarily be my own boss. I think I was always trying to find a full-time job that had benefits and all this money that I could make on my own, which is a guaranteed check. And I could just do my passion or things I want to do on the outskirts. It wasn't until I moved to Atlanta and it was hard finding employment. I didn't think about it coming from Mississippi because you literally can outbeat your competitor at all times. You can always have the right degree, the right reference and all that. Atlanta is a pool of 5 million plus people searching for the same 10, 20, 30 jobs. So it was almost like God pushed me and said, okay, this is what you're going to do. And it was something that actually felt natural. It wasn't something I had to think about. But along the way, like all the customer service jobs I had, it helped me to have great customer service with my customers. It allowed me to have some type of structure as far as how I wanted my business to flow and also to demand what I was worth. I can go into a job and say, okay, I'm going to make $75,000 a year, and that is a cap.
Mm-hmm.
$75,000 a year may not always include the taxes, may not all include the penalties and different things that your check will actually, experience. Whereas me, I could say, well, I want to make $1 million. And it may not happen the first year, might not happen the second year, may not even happen to the 5th year. But the fact that that is a goal that I can achieve was something I said, okay, because the whole point for me to be a millionaire is to be an employer. I always wanted to pay people what they deserve, have their benefits on me, give them a great work environment where they're not stressed, they're having a good time coming to work, and they can experience what that is like. Because not everybody has a job set up like that. Some people absolutely hate their jobs. And I would love for my employees to come to work and be like, I love working for her. Like, I love being a part of what she's built. So that's really what it was. I never really wanted to fully be my own boss. It just kind of happened and I just walked in it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Okay, so the second question is, what is the biggest part of the hardest part of being your own boss? What would you say to the audience is the hardest part?
You gonna work. You're gonna work. And I'm not talking about that 40, 50-hour work. Sometimes, like, there are weeks I've actually worked 60, 70 hours. There are times when customers aren't the best and can be very rude and condescending because they feel like they spend money with you, they can treat you any kind of way. You're not always in a space of, yes, this is success. It kind of reminds me of a pastor, Daniels, his wife. She shops with me and she's a part of my subscription service. But he said sometimes you literally will want the success, but don't think about all the stuff that comes with it. Right. It's like I asked God for, influence, success, money, and all this, and it's like he's like, yeah, here it is. But this is also a gist of the business that you may not want to deal with. You're not always in a mind frame of me having a successful t-shirt line that I would think somebody would steal my ideas, and they have. And they profited off my ideas. You don't ever think about the fact that when you come up with your own groove, there are about 30 to 100 people watching that groove, wanting to mimic everything you do because obviously it's working for you. And I'm trying to find out where my purpose is and my thing. And it's like they sit at home and they copy every single thing. That is a part of the success that people say, well, you know, you made it. But that's insulting to a business owner. It's insulting when you put your all into something and here comes people wanting to create carbon copies of it. It's also something when you're like, I suffer from anxiety. So there are times when my anxiety comes into play and depression hits. And I'm still having to operate in my gifts, in my role as an entrepreneur and a business owner, and still have to make sure I'm servicing my customers. I cried like 2 weeks ago, I literally cried the entire week. I still had to fulfill orders for my store. I still had to submit for my subscription service. I still have to email clients. I still have to make sure clients, I have my schedule for the upcoming quarter so I know who to style, where I need to be at, where I need to go. It's one of those things where you literally put your life is literally one way, and then you start to build and say, okay, I need an assistant. Okay, I need this, I need that. I've been a one-woman show for 3 years, and it literally has been nerve-wracking, to say the least. But it's one of those matters where I'm okay with it, even with the good and the bad, because again, I'm still walking in my purpose. I don't wake up in the morning and not lack purpose. I know my gifts. I know my purpose. I know why I'm on this earth. That is the most fulfilling thing, because I honestly have peers around me that don't know why they on this earth. They like, look, Chandra, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know, I've been having mine since a kid. I just wasn't into fashion like that as a kid. Right. But as I got older, it was just something that was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And I did it. So that's really where I think that is the hardest thing, is being a business owner, entrepreneur, and being a boss, is to deal with all of the, like you consider them unnecessaries, but it's just like the extras. Let's just say that. Dealing with the extras, like you definitely want the money, but you got to fight the taxes. Like when people say, oh, I'm getting a tax refund, woo, I'm getting $8,000 back. I'm like, girl, I'm about owing 18 grand. You know, somebody said, well, you know, Sean, you're able to buy whatever you want, do whatever, but I have to still be able to be conscious of everything, because the pandemic could have easily shattered my businesses. Didn't happen, but it could have. I literally went to LA to style some clients, Garcelle being one of them, for Impact Magazine, and I was down the Sunset Strip, and I saw so many businesses that were gone. Wow. Businesses that have been there 5, 10, 15 years, gone. Wow. God kept me. And I'm not saying that just because it sounds nice and it's super like, no, seriously, he kept me. Exactly. There were months I'm like, I don't know, like I'm literally, even though I'm leaving this year in the red, because I did overspend a lot of investment money that I'm waiting to see the return, which I'm sure is coming. But it's the fact that I know for just not even an inkling of my thoughts, know that God kept me. He kept me. And he allowed me to still be able to do things in the pandemic where I'm driving by people who are hungry. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the grocery store or the restaurant and I heard somebody say, you know, I can't afford this, and I'm swiping my card, blessing them. And I'm not public with my giving. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, look at me, I'm giving. Right. It's just one of those situations where even though it's been a hard year for me as a business owner and an entrepreneur, it still has been a great year of blessing, and I've been able to do it financially and be a blessing to those who want to see it. You know,
that is awesome, and it's beautiful to hear. And the one thing that I love about you is your transparency,
very,
especially with the anxiety, because a lot of people hide that and they don't understand that you hiding that causes more stress. But if you're transparent, when people can't look at you, say like, what's wrong? No, I didn't told you my business, so you don't have to talk about it. I didn't already told you about it. Right. So I love that about you. I love that. Okay, we have one more question, and I'm so excited for you and everything that God is doing in you.
Thank you.
Okay, the last question. Well, I have a follow-up question to it.
Sure, knock yourself out.
All right, so if you could change anything about the process, what would it be?
Wouldn't change it. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Amen.
When I came to Atlanta, I struggled for about 2 years, and that was out of pure disobedience, pure ego. Wow. Not really wanting to outsource and find new ways to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm walking in his will. That is something I cannot, I can't fake it. I can't pretend it. It's literally something that people see all the time. Even if you don't want to see it, even if you're not a fan of me necessarily, and you just look at my life and be like, that girl is doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. It's one of those things where when you know someone is not faking it, for likes, faking it for money, faking it for whatever. And it just flows naturally. It's like, I mean, like I could talk about everything I'm going through. I can be very transparent because you're not going to pull a me on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not going to put me in a space where I'm lying about something just to make sure you feel good. This is not always a feel good situation. This is real life. This is my life. So I wouldn't change a thing. Probably maybe not be so anxious. Maybe walk a little more in my faith instead of what I see or how I feel. I'm a person that definitely lets my emotions control me, and that's something I'm working on to stop doing so much, because I'm always like, it's the principle of the matter, and it's like, is it really the principle? And my therapist, she's big on telling me it's your ego talking, Chandra, because you're a control freak. You want to be in control of everything, but that has always been something I dealt with even as a kid. I've always been one of those people that tell people, like, I literally try to be human in my own God. And God has shown me, like, bro, you ain't got the capacity for that.
Can't handle
Just chill. Do what I ask you to do, and everything will fall into place. I am one of those people that I don't want to relax. I don't want, nah, God, I got it. He like, hey, you got it. You got it, pimp juice. It's on you. And then something happened. I'm like, no, you was wrong.
I love it.
That's just me, but yeah, that is definitely what I wouldn't change the thing.
I love it, Deshaun. And the thing that you said two things that I want to kind of follow up on.
Sure.
One is, and this is so pivotal during this time, is seeking assistance with a therapist or somebody to talk through, especially during this time, because a lot of people think, especially in our community, think that it's taboo to have a therapist. Like, you don't tell nobody your business. You better tell somebody. It's therapy and Jesus. Just like Preston says, it's therapy and Jesus. You need them both. And so I really appreciate you sharing that, because a lot of young millennials are struggling, not just with life itself, because maybe it's not going in the direction they wanted to go. Right. And it's not doing what it needs to do, and it's hard. If you need to talk to somebody,
talk to them,
please, before it gets something else. So I appreciate that with you.
Yeah.
So tell us about your subscription. Tell us about that.
So this is funny. Styling is an expensive luxury. I always tell people that styling is a luxury. And so I do find that when women follow me on social media, they love what I put together. Like, oh my God, this is so nice. I definitely want to be a part of this. And they can't afford it. They like, well, how much is styling? I say it's $100 an hour. To somebody who's at home all year long, they're like $100 an hour. How long is the hours? I say it can run between 2 and 20 hours. Nobody wants to get a $20,000 or $2,000, they don't want to get an invoice like that. Right. So I have a tier service where it's $20.99, $35.99, $49.99, and $79.99, where they can actually get outfits that I create for them. Because believe it or not, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, there are people that's like, what pandemic? What pandemic? So it's just, that's life. I think I'm not exploiting it because I've always have had it for the last 2 years, but let's just be real. We're living in a time frame where people are like, well, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it. I'm going to still look fresh. There are still people still dressing up, doing whatever. They just put a mask on, call it a day. They're not going to allow a pandemic to make them fall back into dressing like, and gaining a excessive amount of weight. People still want to look good, feel good with a mask on. So I provide these styling services where they can click on a link, create an entire outfit that I created for them, and they get about 13 or 15 outfits for $20 a month.
Wow.
It's a steal. And for my friends, like, you undercharge yourself, am I? Or is it something I like to do and it's just something I just do every week? This, again, I don't see, and maybe like I am changing my prices, so they are going up as of January. Okay. But all this time, I don't work. I'm in tune with my store. I'm in tune with my clients. I'm in tune with my customers. This isn't work. It's just a part of my life. I'm not going to a job if that's what people think I'm about to do. So if I gotta work 3 businesses to keep me from having to clock in and have somebody tell me when I could take a vacation, when and where I could do things. I'm going to do it, but by the grace of God, I have a life that not only allows me to have a certain kind of lifestyle, but it also allows me to not go to nobody's job.
That's awesome. Yeah. Deshaun, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and I'm so excited for you. And many blessings to you and your clients and your friends and your family as you go through.
And you too. Thank you for having me.
I receive it.
You receive it. I thank you for allowing me to even talk, because I think when people, not saying nothing's wrong with it, but when people get glamorized and they get on front of a camera and they give you these really soft, beautiful responses, and it's really just work hard. It's like, is that really what it is? Because I'm a rough house it. Every day, baby. It ain't glamorous. It's not. I don't have a house. My kitchen and my living room is inventory. I wish I could have something cute, little couch that people come over and be like, oh, look at your couch. I ain't got none.
Yeah, just like this backdrop. But look, how can people get in touch with you if they want to say, I want to be styled by Sean, I just want to be in the know? How do they follow you? Can you give us all that information? And
Absolutely.
I'm going to scroll across the bottom.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Style by D Nicole. You can email me at dnicole@stylebydnicole. You can get in contact with my assistant Claire at Style by D Nicole. Hey, we wide open, baby. So I'm about to go into a break, so I may not be wide open until after the 15th. But because it's a much needed break. But I'm available. Styling not so much until after January 20th. But after that, it's available to be booked and looking like something.
That's awesome. God bless you. I've known Sean for a minute. She was actually one of my kids. When I see y'all as adults, it blows my mind.
I know it does. It
blows my mind. And then I thank God that he put me in a position to meet so many awesome young people then. And then they grow up to be these amazing adults that are doing amazing things in the world.
You know what's funny? I remember one Saturday when Bishop Wright had a service and he invited Kate McVeigh, Evangelist Kate McVeigh, to the service.
I remember.
And she called me out. And she told my mom, she was like, she's gonna be great one day. My mom reminds me of it all the time. She's like, wow. Remember you were 14 and Evangelist Kate McVeigh said, and it's weird because I didn't even realize people paid attention to me like that. Because I'm be in my own little bubble. I just be like, I just focus on me. I'm a big introvert, believe it or not. People don't know that about me. I literally can be by myself all day, every day, and don't think nothing of it. But yeah, it just reminded me that even with you saying that I was one of your kids, it's just one of those things where we all were lined up at a time where, you wouldn't have thought to the future.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought that far. But being able to know now, like 15, 20 years later, you get what I'm saying?
Awesome. And it's more yet to come.
More yet to come.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end the interview. We know that Salt Factory 513, it was where in Matthew, where it talks about 513 talks about we are the salt of the earth. So we are the ones who are out there actually being the preservatives. We're the ones that's making it happen. And we just thank everybody for watching. Deshaun, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Hey, y'all, listen, have an amazing 2021. Y'all be safe. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. Trust me, God gave everybody common sense. Use it. Everybody have a blessed and amazing 2021. Go out there. If something is brewing on the inside of you to do, don't even think, just do it. Yes. Act out on your faith, not so much your sight. Make sure that you are being led by the Holy Spirit, not your ego, because baby, the two sound are very loud. And I'm telling you, one sound amazing when it hits you when you want to hear something. It's like when you date the wrong person telling you everything you want to hear, and then you in the back of your mind like, it's too good to be true. It is. So make sure that you are listening to the Holy Spirit when you make your decisions, and not just you and you do something you want to hear. So,
girl, you done dropped that right there, and that was good. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.